In the dawn of humanity, as our ancestors fought for survival, most listened for the snap of a twig, the roar of a predator. But in every tribe, there was always one who listened differently, not just to sounds, but to silence. They weren't the strongest hunter or the fastest runner. They were the observers. Imagine a world without calendars, without clocks, without science. Your life depends on the hunt, the harvest, and the changing seasons. Amidst the daily struggle, someone notices the subtle shift in the wind before a storm, the way certain leaves soothe a fever, or how the moon's phase seems to affect the herds. These weren't just random thoughts. This was the birth of a different kind of power. This journey began with simple observation. While others focused on the immediate, these individuals saw patterns. They watched the stars not just for their beauty, but to track time. They learned that the same plant that could heal could also harm if used incorrectly. They saw fear in the eyes of their tribe mates and understood it wasn't a beast to be fought, but an emotion to be calmed. They were the first scientists, the first doctors, the first psychologists, all rolled into one. Their laboratory was the wilderness itself. They started experimenting. What happens if I mix this root with that berry? If the birds fly south today, will the cold follow? They would sit with the sick, offering comfort and strange herbal concoctions. They would speak to the anxious, not with commands, but with stories and reassurances. They were trying to make sense of a chaotic world, to find order in the randomness of life and death. Every successful prediction, every healed wound, added to their mystique. They weren't just lucky. They seemed to possess a deeper connection to the world. But this path was not without its failures. For every correct prediction, there were many that were wrong. A predicted rainstorm that never arrived could mean a failed crop. A healing potion that didn't work could mean the loss of a loved one. These failures were brutal lessons. They brought doubt, distrust, and sometimes even exile. The tribe learned a valuable lesson. Wisdom isn't a gift. It's earned through trial, error, and immense responsibility. True influence couldn't be claimed. It had to be proven, time and time again. The shaman had to be more than just clever. They had to be reliable. Through this crucible of success and failure, a new role was forged. The observers who persevered, who learned from their mistakes and honed their skills, gained a profound respect. They became the shamans. Their voice, once just a curious whisper, now carried the weight of authority. When they spoke, people listened. They guided rituals, mediated disputes, and interpreted the signs of the natural world. They were the keepers of memory, the weavers of myths that explained the cosmos and the tribe's place within it. Their wisdom wasn't just about survival anymore. It was about meaning. They gave the tribe a shared story, a common purpose, and in this transformation, a fundamental shift occurred in human society. For the first time, leadership wasn't just about physical strength. It was about insight, wisdom, and the ability to inspire trust. Knowledge gave birth to belief, and that belief gave birth to a new kind of leadership, one that guided not just the body, but the soul. The shaman was the bridge between the known and the unknown, the living and the spirits, the past and the future. This powerful new form of leadership, rooted in wisdom and belief, couldn't remain with just one person. As tribes grew and life became more complex, how did this authority spread? That's our next story. The birth of tribal councils. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey back in time. If you found this fascinating, please hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next step in the incredible story of humanity. See you next time.